This is a quick demonstration of the early work towards adapting AI systems to recognize new patterns of activity demo. This is a technical narrative and is not what we will be using for the final version of this demo. So what I would like to show is a situational understanding example based in this human agent knowledge fusion environment, which is what we're using here, tentatively called CogniSketch. The purpose of this environment is a place where human and machine agents can rapidly build and exchange knowledge through tellability, informing new information, or explainability, going deeper into explanations of why information exists or has been added. But what we're seeing here is a number of services. We have the Anglova Boulevard CCTV service, a situational understanding service, which is a generic one trying to make sense of the situation in the city, a Central Square listener service, and a media monitoring service. These first two, the Anglova Boulevard and the Central Square listener service, are specifically located at a place based on the sensors, and the media monitoring service is looking at online social media tailored to the particular region, the particular area. So for example, if we navigate to the map view, we can see here that we have a couple of sensors, so one on Central Square and one here on Anglova Boulevard, and this is within the Anglova city setting within the NATO vignette. We'll come back to the map later. So, okay, let's see what's happening. Our services are running, and we can use this environment to get more information about them and see what's happening. So we're monitoring the city using these services and these sensors for any information that might be relevant to situations we need to act on. Okay, so we can see here that this Anglova Boulevard CCTV service has observed an active shooter situation. One bug here is that these icons should be displayed without the expansion. I will fix that. So let me just manually do that. So this is how it will appear in the final version. The green event and situation icons will also be larger. Okay, so we can see there's been some activity here that has led to the conclusion of an active shooter, and we have an explanation here based on Saver, which we will go into some detail of. Both of these videos are embedded and are playable. So we have inferred the active shooter, and indeed if we go back to the map, we see now that we have an active shooter event within the vicinity of the nightclub camera. Okay, but back on the canvas, you may have seen, or it may have been too quick, that shortly after we inferred this active shooter, then a situation was created by the situational understanding service of violence in Anglova, but with a low confidence, because so far the rules that are triggered by this have only seen one event of interest. Okay, but things are continuing. Our analysts may be interested at this point, or they may not. It may be that this sort of thing happens regularly in this kind of environment. Okay, so what we have here is the multimedia service has now identified something. So let's just zoom in and have a quick look here. So there's some activity on Twitter that is talking about violence, fighting in Anglova City, so we can explore textual summaries, and all of this has been done by this evidential deep learning. So we have some belief here, and the belief in this case is based on the fact that this is coming from a US service. We are a UK observer, but in this case we trust our partner, so the information is trusted as stated. Okay, I should also go back to this situation here and point out that if we look at the belief here, we notice, let me show it to you on the actual canvas, we notice that the certainty has been downgraded because the partner is only trusted at 80%. This is a local Anglovan service. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. What we see here then is the media monitoring service has detected reports of violence in Anglova, but they're not yet linked to the situation. And this is because upon reviewing the rule, the analyst realizes that this integration is not yet created. So we're going to write some extensions to the rules, which will be more understandable. And upon doing so, when we save that, the rules are updated, which enables any events that match this description in this area to be also taken into account with the evolving situation. So you can see that's now happened, and we've come up with a second a revision of our certainty, which is basically that the likelihood is increased because we now have two events that are plausible. Okay, so we'll continue on. We should probably describe each of the services in a bit more detail in terms of the technical content, but we also have this Central Square listener service, which is using an audio sensor located, and there you go, you saw the few seconds after we had this is detected by link created, but let's just go and explain this. So we have audio, which is playable. I'll play that in the real demo, which basically infers an explosion using the deep ProbSep algorithm. There's an explanation. We need to decide what that looks like, and we should probably spend a little bit of time talking about deep ProbSep here, because it's a key part of the focus of this demo. So we'll do that somehow. Okay, but if we now go back and look at the larger picture, we see we now have a third certainty revision here, so it's now very likely with high confidence that this is the case, and this is the environment that we're really exploring, the ability to define these services rapidly through these extendable palettes of the different types of things we have, the explanations, the rationales, different rules, different events, all of which is extendable by more technical users and usable by the intelligence analyst. We're not suggesting this would be the final user interface. You could easily build, based on this knowledge graph, a much more efficient and focused solution. For example, we've got different views here that show tabular data, so you can list, for example, all of the explanations and see them here, and it's very easy to customize these views so that you get to see the information that you actually need, and this can be sent via emails, alerts and so on to particular users in this environment. There's also a timeline pane that I need to complete the implementation of for this particular story, which shows events as they occur on the timeline. And if we come back to the map, we see that we have both the active shooter and the explosion. You'll notice that the situation is not rendered on the map because the situation applies to Egg Clover generally. Thank you.